All right. Oh, I was off by 1 minute. Oh, how could I? It's happening, everybody. All of, two people, I think. I think that's what that means. I'm not even sure how to read all this stuff. It's crazy. Let's see. 2 playbacks. Whatever that means. Yeah, the Mark III is, it's... A lot of retraining, because it's something completely and utterly different than anything experienced before from Pentax shooters. Still trying to fine tweak. Let me turn that down, actually. That's better. Still trying to tweak the settings and whatnot in regards to autofocus, and I mean, there's subject recognition on and off, and which method works best for certain things. Actually, one of my subscribers, unfortunately with the live stream thing, you can't change anything, or when it gets uploaded later, none of the comments show up. So I don't want to actually dive away from this, but I can't remember. I don't even remember which video it was. I think it was the one where I was using the 17500 Sigma. Yeah, I think with that one of my subscribers actually did reach out to one of the Pentax employees and got the lowdown on best settings in regards to setting up the autofocus to get the, I guess, the best options available for shooting scenarios in regards to AFC. So the interesting thing that I found was not using release priority, or sorry, not using focus priority. Actually leaving everything as release priority actually gets you the better results. And I actually looked up Nikon in regards to their recommendations, and a lot of their recommendations were the same. Do not use focus priority when using AFC if you want to track things, which I found very interesting. The other thing I'm playing around with is the drive mode. When the camera loses autofocus, do you allow it to continue to drive the lens, or do you tell the camera to stop driving the lens? And I actually did run into an issue where I was trying to focus on something. It was way out of focus. When I initially went to acquire focus, the camera didn't do anything. I had to manually get the focus kind of close to the subject, and then the camera would start autofocusing. But if it's too far out of focus, if you have it set to drive, like to not drive the lens, when you initially go to use the shutter button or back button focus, the camera won't do anything because it knows it's just way out of focus. It doesn't even move whatsoever, which I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's part of learning this whole new system. But yeah, anyway, so the echo should be gone. I turned the volume down. It's kind of like when people call into the radio and they're listening to the radio, and then you hear them over the radio, echoey, but should be good now. Alright, so this is an open forum. I don't know why I decided to do this, but you can ask me anything. Anything. How's the weather? How's not the weather? I don't know, like, what kind of pen do I like? What's my favorite color? Just ask away. It doesn't have to be photography related. But I have a feeling it'll be pretty much photography biased, so to speak. But yeah, that's the whole reason I'm doing this one. So ask away. Be interesting to see what everyone's questions are. If there even are any questions, or maybe everyone's afraid to ask things. Someone's got to break the ice. All right, let me start by asking. How many of you that are watching right now, how many of you actually have the K3 Mark III? Curious. Because I'm seeing reports that the camera is pretty much sold out. Like there is a dry up of cameras for the K3 Mark III. So people are still waiting on shipments. All right. No, actually, I didn't get a chance to see the eclipse. And actually, in Canada, a few people that I know went out to shoot the eclipse, and it was cloudy. So, unfortunately, one of those Mother Nature things. Not much you can do. So yeah, I was in bed. I was sleeping. What do I think of the new hyper program settings? Honestly, I haven't used the new hyper program settings. It's one of those things. I'm just so used to using it the way it was, and I'm going bit by bit with the K3 Mark III in regards to getting used to these functionalities, and then I will move on to other functionalities. I don't want to just dive into all these different things and then end up just getting confused, because the layout of the camera is different. I'm still tweaking the smart function. There's a lot of things that I am tweaking in regards to the K3 Mark III. So I'm trying to dial in my usual settings for when I'm doing action and stuff like that, and then from there I'll start going further into the camera itself, using the hyper program settings, manual lenses and all that stuff. But for my primary photography right now, that's what I want to get dialed in before I start looking at all the other things. The one thing I will say though is I was very, very, very surprised by how this camera behaves in live view. It's actually very responsive. Especially compared to the older K3 Mark I. It actually, I guess in a matter of speaking, it's kind of like a Panasonic mirrorless, because Panasonic uses contrast autofocus for their mirrorless cameras, and I've noticed there is a big difference in live view between both the K3 Mark I and the K3 Mark III. The K3 Mark III does focus much more decisively in live view. There's really a very, very, very minimal amount of hunting. And you'll see me moving around a bit here because I actually have, my camera's kind of blocking part of my screen, which is right where the chat is. So just hold on one sec. Hey, Will. Yeah, John. With the manual lenses the hyper program, the new hyper program. I know it has a lot of potential, and it's a lot more flexible in regards to usage. I'm gonna actually let me move this camera out of the way here. Let's do that. Let's move this over a bit, so at least I can see you guys. Oh, I've got some prints on my desk here. All right. Well, let's move that back. There we go. Oh, that's much better. Mucho better. The one thing I find is, I don't know, it's weird. It's like the lens on this is off. Oh, there still seems to be an echo? Really? Alright, let me see here. There shouldn't be an echo anymore. That might be why. Alright. Okay, echo should be gone now. I hope so, anyway. It's too many settings and stuff, and I was trying to get all like super fancy just before this. You know, by using. Okay, now it's not even focusing properly. Oh, come on. Really? Alright, I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, it doesn't actually seem to be focusing 100%. So, yeah, I was trying to get all fancy with everything, and I was going to do like a screen share and then switch between the camera and the screen and all this other stuff, but nah, I was like, you know what, it'll take some time to set it up, run through it a few times. I didn't want to actually try this right off the hop, so. Okay, so I turned off one of the audio inputs that I didn't even think was actually running. So the echo should be good to go. I mean, should be eliminated now. Should be good to go. 10 minutes in. No, it's not bad. Took 10 minutes to figure that out. Thanks to you guys. Oh yeah, the shake reduction on the camera is, yeah. I mean, I was using panning mode when I was out doing some street photography last weekend. And yeah, I was shocked. I'm not even sure exactly how the panning mode works, in a matter of speaking. It almost seems like, I don't know if it's got like computational photography in it or something like that, but it actually seemed that whatever was in focus was like, would be nice and sharp, but then it was like extra sharpness was added to just that one element, and everything else was like exaggerated blur. Like it's just very, it's interesting. I'm not sure exactly how, like, is it actually tracking, like tracking the subject and then angling, you know what I mean? Like, is it actually tilting the sensor but keeping the central area and just leaving the sides blurred? Yeah, it's. But I was using it, and I mean, it was very, very effective. There was a guy on a bicycle, a couple of people on motorcycles, scooters, that kind of thing. But even on the K3 Mark I, I think the slowest shutter speed I could handhold was 1/8 of a second, and I'm now able to do the same thing at 1/4 of a second. So, yeah, it is vastly improved. I still haven't really pushed it, but actually I might do that and see what the actual absolute maximum on a good day actually would be for me hand holding, because you know, sometimes you're super steady, everything's good, and then other days, you know, you got the shakes, right? So okay, good, echo's gone. Oh. I wonder if that message is for me or not. It's got a thing on YouTube here. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Is that for me? Or is that for me to remind you guys you have to behave? You know, okay. So there's a question that I mean, that I see a lot. I don't actually get asked the question, but I see it a lot. And a lot of beginners wonder, is it worth getting an education in photography? Or, you know, should they just rely on YouTube? You know, and it's hard to say. You know, a traditional schooling in photography, I think, is good. Will that put you above and beyond, you know, will that put you above and beyond anyone else who hasn't gone to school? I don't really think so. In regards to if you're running your own business, you know, trying to really put yourself out there in regards to getting jobs for photography. I mean, obviously, like if you want to work for someone else, it may be a requirement. But if you're just doing it for yourself in regards to, starting your own business, I don't really, a lot of it is the marketing more so than the formal education. As long as you know what you're doing with the gear, the people that are going to be hiring you, they're not going to care to see, a diploma or a certification, things like that. But I just found it a very interesting question. I think photography is one of the hardest industries to really figure out the avenue in regards to how should you go about pursuing it. Do you get the formal education? Do you get, accreditation, certification? Do you just use word of mouth? Do you just learn the education for free? Do you just, learn from someone else, like from a mentor? Or, it's really hard because, I mean, a lot of photographers that, have made it, they don't, I don't think a lot of them actually, at least, sorry, let me rephrase that. A lot of these social media photographers, myself included, well, I did do formal education in film. It wasn't like at a university or college level or anything like that. But I think a lot of the photographers don't have that. They have the experience, but they don't have the actual full out, like a, Bachelor of Arts in photography or whatever it actually is. I mean, you do learn a fair amount in school, yes, but you also need the experience, right? It's like for myself with IT, that's my, that was my career. And there's a lot of things they teach you in school that have absolutely no application in real life. When you're actually out there, there are things that happen you have never seen before, and you're not in an actual like boxed set environment where, okay, if A, B, C is not working, then you must do, X, Y, Z. And then that always works. Well, in the real world, that doesn't work. It's completely different. It's tough. It's tough. I find, I read the comments and everything of, what people recommend. 99.9% is like, oh, just watch YouTube. But there is some value in the school, but I think it also comes down to, I guess, for one, what kind of clientele are you trying to get? And what actual avenue within photography are you trying to pursue? That would be the tipping point in regards to spending the money on the formal education and everything like that. Okay, so I'm missing some stuff here. So let me see where I'm gonna go back and shake reduction. Okay, yeah, talk about that. Have you seen? Yeah, John, I did see the shutter shock issue. And then it went from shutter shock to now everyone's focusing on, what was it? 2-second timer or 12-second timer with horizon correction enabled, is causing the sensor to actually move mid-shot, or it hasn't centered it. So I don't know. At this point, I mean, the shutter shock thing, I haven't experienced it. I haven't had an issue with it. I did some shots trying to mimic the same setup as DP Review, who actually first mentioned it, and I didn't have the issue. So I don't know exactly. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I really have no idea. But I mean, in all realism, man, like, when are Pentaxians going to stop being so flippantly picky about the littlest thing? I thought we were, I honestly thought we were past trash talking things, in regards to the K-3 Mark III. First it was, oh my God, there's no flip screen. Oh, and then it was the price. Oh, what do you mean there's no GPS built in? Ah, there's no Astro Tracer? Ah! The camera comes in, everyone's like, wow, this camera's amazing. Whoa, this is phenomenal. This is wow, I can't believe Pentax made a camera like this. Whoa, this blows my mind. Oh, wait, now there's shutter shock. But it doesn't seem to have happened to a whole lot of people. And then, after the shutter shock, it was like, okay, well, let's find what else we can find wrong. Hey, the sensor's still moving when you're shooting, it's, it's good to point these things out, but a lot of these issues don't need to be broadcast, publicly. I guess in a forum, you want feedback from other people to try it out and see if they also have the same issue. But even after the fact, the conversations that just go on and on and on and on and on, it just, why don't you just go out and take some pictures? That's, I read the stuff and I'm like, okay, well, do I really want to sit there shooting studio set shots over and over and over and over again just to find and nitpick one very, very, very tiny issue that I wouldn't even notice otherwise? No, I'd rather be out there actually shooting, and I have found some issues, which I think I'd finally figured out in regards to the autofocus not showing up on the autofocus points not showing up on image review when using AFC. I think I figured out exactly what's happening there. I don't really think there's anything that Pentax can do about it. It has to do with, I guess, is that 1,000th of a millisecond where it's actually changing focus when you shoot, and it's that little piece of info that's missing. But I didn't broadcast it, all over a whole whack of forums or anything like that. I sourced out some people and they presented it to Pentax. Pentax said that they haven't seen that issue. I did some more testing and I think I figured out exactly where the issue's coming from, and it's not actually an issue. But anyway, and that's just me. I'd rather just be out there getting some shots, instead of wasting all my batteries and my time and the shutter on a bunch of studio things to try to find problems. Visual training in the craft means you have met a standard, but a portfolio has a lot of other skills. Yeah, Simon, I agree. It's like, when I got into the IT career, I didn't have, a certification or anything like that at the time. And I was trying to get my foot in the door. I knew everything, but I just couldn't get my foot in the door because they're like, well, how do we even know you know what you're talking about? So, I ended up having to go back to school and got a certification. And then, boom, all the doors started opening again. I still knew the same amount that I knew before, right? So, it's... I technically come from the school of hard knocks, the school of life. That's pretty much where I got my education from. You live and you learn. You toughen up and move on, right? That's pretty much what my life experiences were for the most part. Trained by photographer, not officially. Life was my experience. Yep, that's exactly what I had mentioned, Simon. Just life is just life experience, street smarts. They actually they do something, but if you have the opportunity to formally do the school, do the schooling as well as improving your skills and learn the ropes in real terms, not just the straight edged school curriculum format of learning, then basically the sky's the limit at that point, because you'll have the theories down, you'll have the principles down from your schooling education, and you'll also have the real life experiences that they cannot teach you in school. And that's pretty much it, man. You know what? This talk's making me want to go back to school. Because they always say, upgrade your education. And why does this keep missing focus? This is terrible. Let me fix this. Now I'm gonna have to actually move out of the way here. I think that's okay. Where is focus on here? There's focus. All right, let me just move back. I think it's hard to tell because I've got like multiple screens up here. Okay, why is that not? All right, I'll go back. Hey. All right, let me move this. Why are you not focusing on me? This is terrible. This is not my Pentax camera, by the way. All right, so I think that's locked. Yeah, okay, focus is locked. All right, cool. That's what I wanted. All right. Okay, that's much better. Yeah, education is good. Life experiences are good too. I mean, you know, it's like I keep saying, you know, I notice on, you know, beginner groups and whatnot in regards to photography, you know, people are always asking, you know, okay, I totally lost my train of thought. You know, basically, you know, they wonder, you know, how to, you know, best go about learning things, you know, and a lot of it is just trial and error, you know, just shoot, learn, you know, it's just the experience itself, you know, just get out there, you know, hit the pavement, you know, offer free shoots at the beginning just so that you can actually learn, right? Find another photographer, you know, that's, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, you need the experience, and school can only take you so far, and then you need to learn the other stuff they can't teach you on your own. Simon, that's a tough question, man. Okay, well, let me start with John's comment here. So no, again, I haven't had any of the issues that they're actually that I see popping up online. I mean, is it an issue? It very well could be. You know, I mean, they're pretty adamant that it is an issue. Is it a major issue? Well, like anything else that's mass manufactured, you know, the things happen, you know, I mean, tolerances may be out, you know, it's unfortunate, but that's what happens, you know, nothing is 100% perfect all the time, you know, cars get recalled for all kinds of insane issues, right? So, you know, is it a major issue? Well, no, because then I think it would be affecting every single one of the K3 Mark IIIs. You know, is this going to be something like the aperture block issue? I doubt it. You know, is this something that could be fixed in firmware? I strongly believe that yes, it could. You know, it just has to do with a delay, timing delay, you know, that may affect a few cameras. And yeah, I mean, that's my take on it. But I haven't personally actually seen that. Okay, Simon. Oh boy. Do I think Pentax will ever become a sellable brand in North America again? No. It's very, very clear that Pentax is focusing solely on the Japanese market. The rest of it to them is, if we sell a couple, we sell a couple, but their actual target market is Japan. You know, it's in North America especially. They really have no presence. I mean, I actually found this very interesting. In Canada, we have a very large retailer, Henry's. They've got locations all over Canada. There's another major camera store, Vistec. You know, they have a couple of locations. None of them stock Pentax, period. Period, at all. That you cannot go in there, you have to special order it in. But then there's another camera store, Camera Canada, and they actually are the largest. Well, I see what they did there. So they are the largest Pentax retailer in Canada. They have Pentax camera. They have the largest stock selection of Pentax cameras. Well, yes, because nobody else has any Pentax cameras on the shelf in stock. So yes, of course you're the largest. But all jokes aside, I mean, Camera Canada is great store to actually deal with. And it's just one of those things. Pentax just doesn't care about the markets outside of Japan, at least from what I can see. I mean, the business model, I guess, works for them. Would I like to see them with more of a presence in North America? Absolutely. Do I want to see them having, like a professional support market, similar to Canon, Nikon, and Sony? Absolutely. Will they ever do that? No, I really don't see them doing that. However, in one of the Pentax videos in regards to the K3 Mark III, when they were talking about the camera itself and the 5 principles of Pentax and what their plans were, they did mention they were going to be adding more services. However, are those going to be more services globally, or just more services in regards to the Japanese market, period, and that's it? Everyone else is on their own. I mean, we don't know. But I don't see them. They've basically been pulling out of North America for seemingly, I don't know, since when they went digital. And they slowly started pulling back. I spoke to some people at Henry's, and they said they get a Sony rep in about once a month. They get a Nikon rep in once every couple months, Canon once a month or something. And they said for the last 5 years, they have not seen one Pentax representative at all, period. And they admitted to me that they can't sell things they don't know anything about. And if a rep doesn't come to the store, how are they going to know about the products, right? So, it's just if you're living in an area outside of Japan, Pentax is just sort of we might sell a couple here, sell a couple there, but their primary focus is definitely the Japanese market. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Okay. Winged it to get into IT, but now I think I'm so high, the bits of paper. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So your nephew, just responding to Will Parkin here. Okay, so your nephew did a photography degree in London and opened up some doors for that. That's good, man. That's good. And I do hear you about in regards to getting into IT. I mean, for me, it was very, very difficult, like I said. Without the paper, nobody wanted to talk to me. I answered all the questions and everything. They're like, all right, so where did you study? I'm like, in my basement. Playing games. I was in my basement. But even though I had the skills and I had the abilities and I knew everything, because I didn't have that paper, nobody would even give me a shot. I even offered to work. I'm not kidding. I offered to work for, you know what? Just give me a shot. I'll work for 2 weeks. You don't even have to pay me. They still said no. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like I got to go back to school and get something on paper, because this is just ludicrous. This is ridiculous. And yes, once I got that piece of paper, I've been doing IT stuff since 2008. I've worked on projects with Dell. They actually hired me out as a contractor to work on the project with them. I've worked for some of the world's largest companies. Having that one piece of paper really did make a big difference. The other flip side of the paper in regards to the relation in photography, it's the other question too is like, how do you compete with the people that are offering, I don't know, say a portrait or family shoots, unlimited images for $10 or $20, like how do you compete with that? You know, I always try to explain to people, you need to actually show the value of what they're paying for, right? Like, you know, just because you're getting unlimited, you know, well, okay, maybe not unlimited, but say 75 photos for $20. Okay, but out of those 75 photos, you know, like how many of those actual photos are going to be good, right? Go with a portfolio, show them, like, here's the quality of the images that I take. This is what you're actually going to be paying for. You want to look like that? Of course you want to look like that. That's the value of what I'm offering. I will take care of everything. It's all on presentation, right? You know, so if it's, you know, portrait shoots and things like that, you may not need the accreditation, but if you want the higher end clients and stuff like that, then yeah, you need to prove your worth. They really want to see exactly what it is that they're paying for, and having that paper could actually elevate you above and beyond everyone else, and you can command a higher dollar for that, right? You know, people be taking you seriously. What? You got a piece of paper for photography? Okay, I'm listening. All right, go ahead. Right? So, you never know. I don't know where that acting thing came from, but we won't get into that. At least not right now. Okay, where am I here? Have I tried the 150? Actually, I'm grabbing John Hanover. I'm actually grabbing a 150-450 today. I'm looking forward to that. A friend of mine has one. I'm going to be borrowing it for a bit to run with the K-3 Mark III. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There better be some things to... Well, I know where I'm going to go with it to make sure that there's things to shoot so I can really test it out. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And that is one of the lenses that is on my radar when the time is right. I've got a billion other expenses coming up, so you know, one thing at a time. Oh, thank you, John. I'm glad you love the bird and flight videos. I used to shoot weddings for free. Oh man, yeah, shooting weddings for free. Well, hey, you know, I guess the bonus of shooting a wedding for free is the fact they can't get mad because they didn't pay for anything, right? But yeah, even like when I shot events, it was quite a learning experience. You know, just learning, you know, having to push ISO for terrible lighting conditions. You know, immediately, you know, dialing in your shots, and it's ever changing, and then having to learn to, you know, predict things that were about to happen before they happened, so that by the time that event happened, you would be ready with your camera already set with your settings to get the shot. You know, it almost made, sometimes it actually made me feel like I was like clairvoyant or something, like I could just predict the future. You know, and then learning, you know, the multiple ways of being able to bounce flash in order to balance the ambient lighting with, you know, the ambient lighting with the flash lighting without making one more overpowering than the other one, and balancing pink, green, blue, flashing lights and lasers with yeah, it was, whew, yeah, it was a very, very big learning curve. My first images from doing that were absolute garbage. Somehow, some way, the client hired me back, and you know, I just kept dialing it in, and before I knew it, you know, years had gone by. I was still shooting nightclubs and everything, and yeah, it was definitely a very quick grassroots learning curve. Okay, where are we here? Haven't tried. Okay, yeah, got that one. No one. Simon, yeah, and you know, you can add me to that list of both you and Ed from Photo Universe. Ed, if you're watching, I know I keep missing your lives, man, so I'm not expecting you to be here to watch mine either. I'm just playing. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a universal truth. You know, Pentax is focused on you know, the Japanese market. That's their main bread and butter, and that's where they make the most of their revenue stream from. So, you know, anything else, you know, outside of, you know, the cost of, you have to keep that in mind too. the cost of manufacturing the additional amount of cameras in order to make a push into other markets, for them being such a small player, I mean, they have what, 3% or something, somewhere around those lines. Them being such a small player, it doesn't make much business sense to spend all that extra cash to try to push into a market where you're not really going to get much of a return, right? So, you focus on your core market that is guaranteed to bring in the most amount of money, and then you dabble a few other things that, you're not going to take much of a hit from, right? But in regards to the marketing and stuff, I think if they did make a push more in that direction outside of the Japanese market, it would, word would spread that this company even exists. And then from there, people may have interest. But then the other side of the coin, at least in Canada, is the fact that you cannot go to a store. Well, you can go to one store, but the major retail outlets that deal with photography, you cannot go to one of those stores and actually hold a Pentax camera to be able to compare build quality or the differences with Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji, Olympus, Panasonic, or whoever the heck else is out there, right? You just can't do it because there's no physical camera for you to check out, which is a whole other issue, right? So, I mean, it is what it is, we can jump up and down and pound our chests and, run around in circles and light things on fire, and it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. So, we just have to live with it. Hey, what's happening, Corey? Let's see, I had my first gig, Sweet 16. You know what? I'm going to use K-1 Mark II. You know what? Yeah, I remember... I remember the first event that I shot, and I was a nervous wreck. I was like, I don't even, like, if I go up to these people and like, hey man, you want a picture? The first few people that were like, no, get away from me! I'll kill you! I was like, oh, what do I do? Okay, I'll just walk around and start taking pictures. And then as the night wore on, I was like, you know what? Like, the nightclub hired me to take these photos, like, why am I the one who's like, nervous or, whatever? Like, they hired me. They want me to do, man, hey, you over there. Yeah, you. Okay, so you want a picture? You want a picture? Come on, just grab, is that your girl? All right, grab your girl. Okay, yeah, right there. Just go stand right there, hold each other, big smile. You ready? All right. And I just started telling people what to do. And from there, it just, they got used to, you get a lot of regulars at nightclubs. So the same people the next weekend, and like, oh, hey, it's the photographer guy. Oh, yeah, man. So, just relax. Remember, they hired you because of the fact that, I'm assuming they've seen photos that you've taken. They like what they saw. You are the subject matter expert in regards to that. And here's a tip. It's making sure no one else is listening. Because here's a secret. Even if you don't know what you're doing, keep acting like you know what you're doing, and they'll believe you. Trust me. Just relax. Enjoy your time, take the photos, just keep an eye open for, certain situations like, oh, you know what, that would look good if they were over there. Okay, hey, can you just stand over there? I just want to get one shot of you. Yep, that's perfect, right? Take a number of shots that are, just as the Sweet 16 is going, a more documentary style, do a lot of, because some of the best shots actually come from those. They're the ones that are not planned. Get the family, if you can, get like, the whole family in with, with the person who's turning, well, I guess it's girl, Sweet 16. Anyway, with, the 16-year-old in the middle or off to the side, that kind of thing. Or everybody pointing at, at the person who just turned 16. You can always pose people that way, and they'll be cool with it, right? But if you do trip up, just relax. Don't freak out. Don't doubt yourself. Keep your confidence up, and just go with it. They are not going to know if they know, they wouldn't have hired you to actually do the shoot. So they don't know, right? It's, and it happens to everybody. Even, I don't know, like, Metallica, Nirvana, AC/DC, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kanye, everybody. Every artist who has ever had to do a gig or perform has messed up. It's a matter of how do you cover that up, right? Do you just, Beyonce singing, does she stop? No, she continues on, right? A lot of times you wouldn't even realize that they messed up, right? Because their confidence is there. So just relax, have fun, Corey. You'll be good. You'll be good. Hey, Leaf. Let's see. So there's a lot of negative talk about the noise reduction and that. Yeah, Photo Universe and myself, we feel the same way. I'm sure Simon does as well. And there's so much talk about it, but really, who cares? The Canon R5, I think it was, does the same thing. I think Fuji does as well. I mean, Fuji does a whole lot of different processing and stuff like that. The K3 Mark III, okay, wow, so it does it. The K1 Mark II does it. The KP does it. It's not a big deal. And the thing is, the one in the K3 Mark III is a new accelerator unit, right? It's the accelerator unit 2. Duh, for the French people. Man. Okay, here's something crazy. I used to be fluently bilingual in French and English, and then I didn't need to use the French anymore, and it's been so long, I have completely lost it, and it drives me nuts, because it's one of those things where you had it, you were right there, and it's just gone. Anyway, all right, so yeah, the accelerator unit 2 doesn't just do noise reduction, and I've done a whole ramp up of up to, I can't remember if I went, did I do 25,000? Actually, I think I went all the way up to 1.6 million. And yeah, there is noise, I mean, you can, I think it was between 25,600 or no, sorry, 52,000, I think. It was there was a moment where you could see that there was signal processing. I am not going to say noise reduction because there was still noise in the image, but signal processing that was done at a certain ISO level. And then when you went to the next stop up, there was a stark difference. The next stop up was just grain across the whole frame, complete and utter grain. So it's not that it's only noise reduction. Like I keep saying, it's doing signal processing. What kind of signal processing it's doing, we have no idea. I mean, Pentax did state it is doing signal processing, and there is some noise that needs to remain in the photo. They clearly made that statement. So it's not that it's solely noise reduction. It's not heavy-handed, crazy noise reduction. There is noise that needs to remain in the image, right? It's signal processing. That's all it is. And every camera does it. It's just a matter of how do you go about implementing your signal processing. So I don't really see why there's such a monstrous deal about this noise reduction. Like I watch these people, man, if these people had UFC shirts on and we put them in a ring, oh man, the people would be murdering each other. The arguments are so insane online. At this point, I just start laughing, and then I just take my K3 Mark III, I go take some shots, and then I upload them, and people are like, wow, that's amazing. Oh, really? Well, how is it amazing? I mean, the camera is so flawed because it's got all this noise reduction, right? I mean, that's what you were just saying. It's just, it's crazy. Like, I honestly think that as a society now, it's just, people just can't be happy anymore. They can't. Like, there has to be something wrong with everything. I just bought a toothbrush. Oh, wait, that one bristle's off. Oh, no, that, like, come on. Like, why can't people just be happy? All right, so... Oh, man, Star Wars costume shoot. What? Oh. Stormtrooper armor. Okay, so Corey, that's kind of like cosplay kind of thing, I guess. Like I don't really know that that realm very well. I think there's different types. Like cosplay, and then there's I don't know, I guess like an anime kind of thing, or if that's cosplay. But I think there's like a generalized term for it, and then there's subdivisions within that thing. But no, man, that actually sounds cool. I've actually wanted to go shoot one of those things. I just think it would be cool. Have the character, and have them, set up in a certain way where it's like, they're here kind of thing. Like I wouldn't want to do it with action figures. I would want to do it with actual people. Right. So yeah, no, that is really cool, man. I'm jealous. You actually get to do that. Let's see, it's probably not intro image. Yeah, I agree, Simon. Okay, so Simon's saying here, there's probably not a true raw image. All manufacturers have some sort of algorithm built in. So the raw you get is their interpretation of what it should be. So, hey, Miguel. So from earlier on, buddy, did you, whatchamacallit, did you actually take that 51.7 and do any of the exact, manual focusing? You do any of it? Just on lunch break, eh? Well, okay. So, okay, let's see here. So we'll also... Okay, let me go back to Simon here quick. So, here's the thing. And I'm going to make a distinction here. And I've gotten into arguments about this with other people. Here we go. I know a lot of people call it a raw image file. However, it is not an image file. Period. That is not what it is. Raw is a data file. It is the data that the actual imaging sensor interpreted, which is why you don't see a raw preview on the camera. It has to be fed through into the buffer and then brought out as a JPEG in order for you to see it, which is also why, like say, for example, the K-3 Mark III, right? If you're shooting in PEF, right, the Pentax raw format, shooting in PEF, if your software doesn't have a profile for the camera, you're not going to be able to use that data. You can't use that raw file. It's not an image. It is a data file that contains the data that the sensor used, and then it's up to software to extract that data and interpret that into an image. That's all it is. So yes, every single camera has to process that file. It's just how it is. Every camera has their own language, right? It just that's all there is to it. If you want to use the image, it has to be processed. That's it. Period. I don't know what else to say. But a lot of people freak out at me whenever I mention that, and they're telling me that it's an image file. It's an image file. It's an image file. It's not an image file. But anyway, that's something entirely different. Just thought I'd throw that distinction out there. Okay, let's see. Agreed. Makes it not a problem. They're removing something you're going to remove anyway. Yeah, you know what, Will? You're absolutely right. Yes, there is the option. I guess if you're going for the old film look, yes, you can add grain. But 99.999 repeating until infinity % of the time, you're removing noise anyway. So if the camera helps you, helps you in your workflow by making things more efficient for you to actually do, is that really a problem? I mean, it's not to me. I mean, everyone's looking for the most efficient way to do things. I mean, heck, look at Luminar, and the whole various suites now of AI technology in regards to noise reduction and being able to replace the sky and click twice, and all of a sudden the portrait looks perfect and all the skin blemish is gone. People are looking for the most efficient ways to be able to do their job. That's it. So if the camera can help you along your workflow, I don't see why or how that's a problem. Look at how mirrorless turned out. Eye autofocus, incredible focus tracking, all this stuff. It's all technology that just makes things more efficient, right? So we have a DSLR now that, makes things more efficient. So why is that a yeah, okay, all right. I don't understand people. I understand some people, other people I don't. Okay, no problem. Hello to all. Just okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, Corey. So I was right. All right, cool. All right, Simon. I was out the other day and someone asked what camera I was using. When I said Pentax, let me guess. Yeah, they replied, "Wow, you shoot with film." They didn't realize Pentax still made cameras. But yeah, I've had that too. Actually, Glabrasseur, how's it going? Actually, Simon, it's funny. Where was I? Oh man, I was out. Oh, I was at a dog park. That's where it was. I was at a dog park, and one of the dog owners was there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, what kind of camera is that?" As he put it, and I find this hilarious. Is that a mirror? What do you call it? Is that a mirrorless or? Oh, he's like, is that a mirrorless or a full frame? Like, what? Okay, you clearly have no idea. Like, it's neither. Like, what? What do you mean it's neither? Well, it's not a mirrorless camera, and it's not a full frame camera. It's a DSLR, and it's a crop sensor camera. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, like film. No. It's a digital camera. It's just not full frame and it's not mirrorless. Oh, yeah, Nikon? No. Oh, it's a Canon? No. No, it's not a Canon either. It's not going to be the next thing you mention either. Oh, what is it? Pentax. Oh, it's not a full... Oh, it's not a film camera? No, it's not a film camera. The Pentax still makes cameras. Really? Yeah, they still make cameras. Oh, yeah, that was the end of the conversation. I mean, I couldn't believe it, though. Is it mirrorless or full frame? They have, like... Maybe you're trying to strike up conversation? But it just... Yeah, I didn't laugh at them. I was laughing inside. I've never heard that one before. Yeah, Miguel, I hear you, man. I honestly, I can't count the number of times where someone's asked me, oh yeah, so what are you shooting with? Pentax. Oh wow, they still make cameras? Oh, I didn't. Oh, you know what? I have $14,000 worth of Nikon gear because Nikon's the. Like, I don't care. I'm here to take photos. As you're talking, I'm still taking photos, right? And actually, it was funny. I actually had. Do I have it on here? It's pretty much. Well, it's close enough anyway. All right. So at the time, I was using my K-30, and I was using the DA50 1.8. So yeah. I mean, it's about the same size as what I have on here right now, right? And they're using their $14,000 of Nikon stuff or whatever. And I took a picture of it was a dance competition thing. I took a picture of one of the dancers on stage, and I'm just doing the image preview on the back. The woman kind of looks over. The other photographer looks over at me. Oh wow, that's a really good picture. Yeah, thanks. she still hadn't taken a picture. She was more focused on me, pun intended. And you know, so I zoom in to 100%. I'm looking at it. I'm like, actually, okay, I think I nailed this one. She's like, wow, you get really good pictures out of that thing. I'm like, yeah, it's a camera. Like but the thing is, I hear this all the time. You know, people assume it's either Canon, Nikon, or Sony, and as soon as I say it's Pentax, they don't even know what to say. You know, or the other thing I hear too is, oh yeah, my dad had one of those, or oh yeah, you know, if it's an older person, oh yeah, I remember using one of those in school. I'm like, oh boy, yeah, well they're still around. You know, but it is what it is. You know, it was a choice we all made as Pentaxians, right? You know, we're the black sheep of the camera world. You know, we will rise up. No, okay, no, probably not. But anyway, all right, guys, 2 o'clock. I gotta head out. I got a gazillion things on the go here, installing. Today's my help my mother out day. So yeah, I'm going to be installing whatchamacallit, security light and alarm, and doing some planting and all of this other stuff. And yeah, gotta go with the mask, you know. Just gotta protect yourself. Let me put my face on here. Oh yeah. All right, COVID times, crazy. All right, so last few here. Okay, the gear whales love to talk about their brand. Yeah, I know. It's true. You know, I'd rather just shoot instead of talking about the brand, because the whole reason I leave the house with the camera is to go shoot, right? Not go find out who else is using what I use and just talk about it. Like, you know, anyway. What's the point of being a photographer if you're not going to take photos? There, I said it. I was using AstroTracer the other night, and my neighbors asked if I could help set up their Nikon to do. Good answer, John. Good answer. Yeah, no problem, Corey. So, all right, I've got some other videos just before I actually do sign off here. I've got some other videos that I have in the works. Live view, shooting experience in regards to K3 Mark I, K3 Mark III. As I said, I'm grabbing the 150-450, so I'll be doing a video about that experience as well. I'm going to be doing video on the K3 Mark III, using the K3 Mark III in video, just showing the continuous autofocus, the options, all that stuff. But anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to be out. Thanks for tuning in, and Miguel, have fun at the sandbanks tomorrow. I have no idea if I'm going to be shooting anything at all this weekend, but we'll see.